What would you rather have? A backyard paradise or an investment that pays dividends for life?
For life?
Whole life.
It's an interesting question, and you probably need some more context to truly answer that question. So I want to share what I'm talking about and a whole lot more in the latest Good Financial Sense podcast. This is episode 150. What is going on, Wealth Hacker Nation, GFC fam? It is time to make your life more. It is your always grateful, super cheerful host, Jeff Rose. And today I'm going to be sharing a tweet that I put out. And it was a tweet that I cannot really even tell you where it came from. I've been looking at different Twitter profiles, doing some research.
I was just doing some research.
If I'm being honest, trying to figure out one of the many algorithms that exist out there, because you've got your YouTube algorithm, which doesn't like me so much right now. It's a whole other story. You have the Google algorithm for SEO, search engine optimization, or search engine traffic. And then you also have all these social media algorithms. And Twitter is one that I'm just really interested in. Not so much because Elon Musk is interested in trying to buy it. If you've missed all of that, you can check out the news or go to Twitter and find out what that is all about. What I'm interested in is growing the reach, because I just really enjoy Twitter as a news platform. I've continued to meet people, like make not just acquaintances, but actually make really solid connections on Twitter that I haven't got anywhere else. And I can't tell you, like, I've not sold anything on Twitter. I've not made like any direct sales, but because of the relationships that I have met on Twitter, like, I just love it from that aspect. I also love it from just a news, like where if something is going on in the world that's happening right now and you want real-time information, like Twitter is the place to go. All that to say, as I was doing some of my research, I'm not sure what I came across, but it had something to do with dividend investing. And then I came across the investment ETF, which is VOO. VOO. And maybe you don't know what VOO is. And if that's the case, let me just show you real quick. So VOO is an ETF. It is the Vanguard 500 Index ETF. So the Vanguard 500 Index Fund ETF symbol is VOO. And I just love that symbol. VOO. VOO. Right now, the price of that is $402.52. Just to kind of give you some context, you're going to need this context for the tweet that I'm getting ready to share with you. So I saw people tweeting about dividends. I saw people talking about VOO and just how, like, hey, if you want to get rich, build wealth, buy VOO, sit back and let the dividends fall in, all that good stuff, right? And I didn't know the share price of VOO whenever I saw these tweets. And then when I looked up the share price, like, okay, it's $400. And for whatever reason, this happened shortly after I had taken this picture. And for those that cannot see my screen right now, the picture that I am showing here, this is a picture of our backyard. This is looking at the back of our home. And what you'll see in this picture, you see the back of our house. You also see to the right, which is our pool house / studio, YouTube studio, where I'm recording this right now. So I'm in the second story of this building for those that can see the picture, or you can go to Twitter and you also can see this tweet as well. And then what you also have is our pool that has all our stone around it. You can see the back porch swing. And anyway, like, this is just our backyard oasis. Like, this is our paradise. This was a decision that we came up with. Gosh, like, this was years ago. This was a year before COVID that we decided that we wanted to do this. And we knew we wanted to do the pool. We just really weren't sure on the pool house, because first it was a gazebo, but then we wanted a bathroom, and then like, well, maybe we just add some more. Like, then we thought about, okay, if we ever want to host a small group or host people at our home, which we're doing now, which is also awesome.
Party time.
And then it started thinking about, like, well, if I actually wanted a place to record without any interruptions from kids, puppies, UPS, FedEx drivers, all our kids' friends, like, having a place that is separate from the house, like sounds really, really tempting. So that's when we decided to add on, put in the second story. For those that are watching the video, you can see it here. So this is my office here. On the other side, there's actually a mother-in-law suite where actually my mother-in-law stays when she comes to visit. There's some sleeping arrangement. I could also use the little seating area over here, which I do for like brainstorming, reading, like taking notes, journaling, all that fun stuff. So this has worked out amazingly well. In addition to that, you know, with the pool, what this has done, I mean, we had a pool in our old house and we knew like all of the memories that we had with that pool, from the birthday parties, having friends over, like 4th of July, different types of holidays, having just friends over for the random night swims, like whether it be late night swims, weekday swims, weekend swims. I mean, we had so many memories in just with that pool. And you know, you'll hear people say all the time, like, oh, you're never gonna get your money back, you know, with the pool, it's a sunk cost.
You will regret it.
Maybe so. I do think that it will help you. My belief is that it will help you sell your house faster because you already have a pool. It's already done. People don't want to deal with the headache. You might not get all of the money back, but I think it will help you sell your house faster and also help you get the asking price that you want. Could be wrong. Feel free to like argue with me in the comments or wherever you want to on social. Get on Twitter. Let me know that I don't know what I'm talking about.
Okay, hold on.
Going back to the tweet that I put out. So here was the tweet that I said. What I said was, I could have bought 1,400 shares of VOO, but decided my backyard paradise was a better investment. Lifetime memories equal generational dividends. And I've never used that phrase generational dividends before until I put this tweet out. And I mean, this is something that my wife and I, we've talked about a lot, and not just so much for like just for the right now. Like, yes, we have so many memories already, you know, with the pool and the pool house. Like we've had pool, we call it poolie ball with our neighbors, which basically volleyball in the pool, right? And like, this is just stuff that we never did before. And adding the pool house gave us this structure that made it so much easier to host people. We also have, like, as I mentioned, we host a small group here, but it wasn't just like for the now. Like, yes, we want all these memories now, but thinking down the road, we wanted to create a space that our kids would want to come back to. We wanted to create a space that it was a sanctuary. It just made them feel safe. It was home that they would enjoy coming back to. And this was largely inspired by, we have some neighbors that live across the way. They're baby boomers. They have 4 kids. They're all, I think their youngest just got married. Their youngest daughter is in her younger, maybe mid-20s. And what we experienced during COVID, like when everybody was shut down, they had all their kids there. They had their kids' spouses, those that had their spouses. They had their grandkids. They had another friend of the family that stayed with them. And what we observed was them like doing all these family activities when their kids are older, and because they had the pool, they had an awesome backyard, like they were doing slam ball almost like every day. They were in the pool, they were riding bikes, they were just doing all these fun family activities. And yes, there were definitely times like they wanted their space and they needed a break from each other, but for the most part, like they loved it. And I remember talking to the dad, and like that was the goal. Like the mom and dad both shared that they wanted to create this home. Like this home is bigger than what they need. I mean, they're empty nesters. All their kids are gone. They do have some of their kids that live close by that will come to visit. But I mean, the house is more than they need. But in times like that, it just created an easy place for all of their kids to come back to. So when my wife and I were talking about this, we're like, yeah, like we want to do that. And we know we're going to get the benefits now, not just from having our own family experiences, our own family memories, but also like making it easier for our kids to invite their friends over to swim and have a good time. Like it's just easy when you've got like this cool place to hang out, and it's just fun and easy. And it's like, not to mention the fact, like, you know, as our kids get older, like you don't know who's going to influence them. The closer that you can keep them, you know, just the more you're in tune with them, more that you are in the know. I'm not saying that they're not going to do bad things. I think we were all guilty of that to some extent, but just the more that you can bond with them and have experience with them and have good conversation with them and just have them in closer proximity, not to like micromanage, but just to be in their lives. And that was one of the many factors of why we decided to do this. And it just made sense.
I definitely get you now.
Now, when you figure out the price on what we paid, and I just estimated here, like I don't know exactly if that was how much we paid, because what I do know is with the pool and the pool house, like this, all the costs were decided well before COVID. And for those that don't know, one of the main reasons why real estate prices have just skyrocketed is because it is so expensive to build a house right now. It is so expensive, and that is all factored into the prices of homes, existing homes. So we decided to build this before all the lumber prices went crazy. And that being said, like we still paid a lot for the house, the pool house, and we also paid a lot for the pool. More than I still can't fathom like how much we paid for the pool. A lot of it is just Nashville. It's crazy. You don't have a lot of pool companies. It's hard to get subcontractors. Once again, this is all before COVID. But what, the quick estimate was around $550,000 that we paid for both the pool and the pool house. There also is a hot tub. I don't know if that helps, but there was like, some excavating. We also, what you don't see in this picture is that behind to my right is actually call it a backyard. Technically it's not our property. It's part of the HOA, but it's Tennessee flat, as we like to say, meaning that in Tennessee, there really is no flat land. Like if you actually find flat land, it's a miracle. So Tennessee flat means that there's kind of a slope to it, but it's flat enough where if my kids want to play wiffle ball, football, any sort of fun field activity, soccer, like that is there for them. So we paid money to have that seated, leveled, all that good stuff, and just to create extra space, once again, for these fun family activities. And that is a lot of money.
Happy?
And there are so many different ways that we could have went about that. We could have bought VOO, used the dividends to pay for the pool. We could have bought a dividend portfolio. That is definitely something that me being the investment guy, that was something that I was interested in doing. But my wife, and I want to give her credit, like she felt more comfortable if we just paid in cash, to where we didn't have any more debt, just because you don't know what you never know what may happen. And I totally understand that. And I'm grateful that we had the ability where initially we paid the pool off in cash. We had taken out a short-term loan on the pool house, and that was just a loan through the bank, basically just put up a CD as collateral. And once that came due, we were on the fence, like, do we just pay it off, or do we, try to finance it? And we just decided to pay it off. And if we ever wanted to lump it all together into a home equity line of credit, or some sort of refinance for taking out a loan, like that is definitely a possibility. At this point in time, we don't need this. If you didn't check out the previous podcast, a previous podcast, not the previous podcast, but we're also on a mission to pay off the home at a much faster rate as well. Just some of our financial goals, and just basically like controlling what we can control, pay everything off. Anyway, that was another podcast. We can talk about that later, maybe again, but I really just wanted to focus on, with this podcast, is talking about lifetime memories equal generational dividends. Oftentimes we don't allow ourselves to invest or purchase or buy certain things. And yeah, a lot of people might think I'm crazy arguing that spending that amount of money on a pool. Obviously, we're in a very unique situation, a very blessed situation where we can spend that amount of money. But maybe it's an above ground pool. Maybe it's taking that vacation. Maybe it's adding an addition to your home that's going to be a playroom. Little things like that. It's hard, so hard to put what is the return. Like, what is the ROI, or what is the APY on that particular purchase that you just cannot put a percentage on. You cannot put a value on. And when I think about just all the memories that we have already made, all the memories I know that we're going to make, all the memories I know that will happen when our kids get older and they want to come back and visit, like, you can't put a price tag on that. And sometimes I just need to say that as a reminder of how awesome this is, like how fortunate this is. Like, I mean, just express extreme gratitude to be in a financial position to have this, and to also every single day find gratitude that we have this. And I know it can be hard when kids are kids. Sometimes it's difficult. You know, sometimes you're like, oh my gosh. Or we just had a tornado storm.
Wait, what?
Not a tornado, but a tornado watch the other night. And when that happens, like with all our patio furniture, like we've got to move all that in, you know, or just move it where it's not going to blow away. Sometimes that's a pain in the butt. You know, but it's one of those like, okay, I'm careful what I complain about, because it's like, all right, if I'm complaining about patio furniture blowing away, or because I have to take the time to move it, I mean, that's not a bad thing to complain about.
Not bad at all.
Is there anything that you have purchased that you can see that this is something that will provide generational dividends for you and your family? I'd be curious to hear from your perspective, anything that you have purchased where, and maybe you didn't see it that way then, but you see it now. I would love to hear your comments below. Let me know what you've got, what you bought, what you have enjoyed doing with your family. I want to hear from you. Until next time, this is Jeff Rose reminding you that it's your family, your love, and only you can make it awesome. Until next time, peace.